Namaste and welcome to your Yin Yoga practice. I'm Lisa Jang. You'll need 2 yoga blocks for today's sequence. I'll show you 2 landmarks that we will be placing the blocks. So have a look here. First placement will be right at the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. The block will be placed horizontally. And then another landmark is right at that flat bone behind your pelvis. We call that the sacrum. So just remember these 2 landmarks as we move through the sequence today. So let's begin. Take your time, grab your foam block, place it on a horizontal, and slowly place the bottom tips of your shoulder blades onto the ridge of the foam block. Now, if the sensation is too strong, my recommendation is to place a blanket over the block. That way it's not so jarring for your nervous system. Now I am doing this as a little bit of myofascial release for the shoulder blades using the block almost like a foam roller. So take your time to add slow movement, a little bit of flexion and spinal extension, cradling your head so that you can support your head and your neck as you move through flexion and slow extension, and slow for the win. Now explore other movement as well. Maybe start to roll slowly from side to side. And just notice how that feels in your body. Again, go slowly. And at any time, if you want to linger in this a little bit longer, you can always press pause on the video. But from here, I've grabbed the second block and placed it underneath that flat bone we call the sacrum. Take your time, go carefully, tread carefully as you come down into this variation of supported fish pose. Slowly extend your legs forward. And then notice again, if it's too high, too much, you can always lower the block. But take your time here. You can always use a pillow in a longitudinal fashion behind your spine instead. You can always change the way your legs are positioned on the mat. Take your time to explore. Where do you feel most supported, but at the same time feeling this beautiful opening through the front of your body and the subtle press of your back into the blocks. Now breathing here. Now breathing will also help aid this practice as you start to come into down-regulating the nervous system. Take your time to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. You may want to linger in the exhale a tad bit longer. Maybe you inhale for 4 counts in, and then you breathe out for 5 counts out. Now always remember that we don't want to go to our fullest range of motion in our Yin Yoga postures. Just come until you feel that first sensation, and then allow the body to open, to slowly unravel, to load the tissues in a way that is healthy for you. Now your choice is to stay. If you're ready to move on, let's go ahead and slowly release the block from our sacrum. And now gently place the block right behind your skull, behind your head. We're coming to a pose called supine butterfly pose, also known as Supta Baddha Konasana. Now this is with that heart opener with the blocks behind you. And observe, is this too much? Then invite yourself to lower the blocks down. If it's too little, maybe start to add a little bit more height, or just stay and just breathe. There's no need to unconsciously grip or have an agenda to go deeper. Take your time here, breathing in and then breathing out. When you're ready, carefully start to come out of the pose. Organize yourself in a way that's not jarring to your nervous system. Turn towards your side into your fetal position and just notice that beautiful echo in which we call the rebound. Now, once again, for video purposes, I'm moving on to the next pose, but rebound is a great way to notice how your body is feeling, to discern if you need to pull back from the practice, to get that feedback. But we're heading to our next pose, and as you're ready, make sure your block is within arm's reach. We're heading to our supine one knee twist. Draw your knee in towards your chest, your right knee, and grab your block. Slowly guide your right knee towards the block on the left side, feeling that support, taking your time to open up your right arm. Now play with the positioning of your arm, especially if you feel any tingling sensation or anything electrical. You want to adjust the positioning of your arm so that you don't feel that. But once you're settled in, just slowly close your eyes and allow yourself to surrender, feeling the opening or the beautiful eustress that we're creating along through the side of the body, that right side, the anterior deltoid, the right side of the waist, the right side of the hip, and maybe as well into the IT band. You choose the positioning of your head, turning it right, center, or left. Choose the position that is helpful for you. Take your time here, exploring the sensations and exploring the depth of your breathing. Inhaling through your nose for 4. Exhaling out through your nose or through your mouth for 5. We're moving on to our second side. But before we do that, let's take a rebound. Noticing the echo of the pose. I invite you to stay here longer. For video purposes, I've shortened this. But once again, rebound for me, when I practice, is the most profound. The sensations, the response from my tissues. But when you're ready, let's head to the second side. So grab your block, place it towards your right side. Take your left knee in towards your chest and slowly start to bring your left leg towards the block for support. Now remember that the block is optional. There's no obligation to use a block. And then once you're in the pose, begin to figure out the positioning of your neck, the turn of your head, see what works best for you. And then once you've found that sweet spot, then go ahead and close your eyes and just allow the pose to do all the work. No need to strive or effort. No need to muscularly engage or expend extra energy. Or just breathe. Again, using the breath as a tool to get yin side. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose or through your mouth. Do this on your own. I invite you to stay once again. No obligation to come out. But as you're ready, take your time to find your way back to center. A moment in rebound. Just breathe. When ready, safely come on up and have a look here. Now I'm including a little bit of neck release. So I'm pointing at the suboccipital ridge. So not on the neck, but at the suboccipital ridge. Let's place a block right there, that base ridge of the skull, and use that knife edge part of the foam block. If it's too strong, place a blanket on top of it, or just use a pillow behind your head. No need to do this myofascial release. And then as you're ready, we're going to bring our feet mat width, and then slowly drop both knees towards your left. We have internal rotation of that right femur bone, that right thigh bone. And in that, you should feel a nice, gentle opening or eustress in towards that right hip flexor, maybe even the right thigh. And as I'm showing here, that myofascial release is going to be directed towards your left side of the skull. So turn your head all the way towards your left, all the way. And then turn your head back just a quarter of a way. You'll find this beautiful sweet spot I like to call the hollow. Optionally placing your right arm across your forehead to add a little bit more pressure. You choose the amount of pressure you need. Remember the Goldilocks rule, not too little, not too much, but just right. Maybe adding a little bit more dimension by holding on to your right wrist with your left hand. Once you settle in, begin to simply breathe. Now I'm adding a block underneath my right arm for additional support as I drape my arm over my head. You can do this as well. Try it, see if you like it. If not, take it away. There's no obligation to come out of the pose, but if you're ready, take your time, organize yourself however you like to slowly start to bring your legs back to center and coming to our rebound, releasing the block and noticing the echo of the pose. As a gentle reminder, you can always stay in the echo of the pose a little bit longer than I am doing in the video. But as you're ready, we're heading to second side. So taking that same pose, the block right at the base ridge of the skull this time, we take our legs mat width again and dropping our legs towards the opposite side, towards your right side. Make sure your knees feel okay. And the same thing as you're here, gently turn your head all the way towards your right, all the way. Turn your head back just a quarter of a way, and you're right beside the cervical spine on the right side, not on top of it. And just breathe. Give it a few seconds before you add a little bit of a load if you're considering that. Again, no obligation there. But if you would like, take your arm just across your forehead. Maybe it's across the scalp, however you like, where your arm feels comfortable. Or maybe you're taking your hand on your forehead and resting your elbow on the block. Whatever you choose. Remember that less is more, especially for today's practice. Take a slow, deep in-breath. And a slow exhale. And keep on doing that breath work on your own. Slowly allowing ourselves to come back to center. Again, really allow yourself to take your time in our rebound or resonance. Noticing what your tissues are experiencing, maybe a sense of warmth or coolness. And when you're ready, we're heading to our final yin posture. So I'm going to show you the landmark of where we're going to place the edge of the block. So have a look here at the screen. We're going to take the blocks right at what we call the MT junction, the muscle tendon junction of the gastrocnemius, the calf, and the Achilles. Now, the idea here is to find a nice gentle release of the tissues. So go ahead and place your right calf on the block like I've shown here. And with this myofascial release, we're taking banana asana. Arms overhead, only if that feels okay for your shoulders. And then taking a gentle lean towards your left side. A little bit of that banana shape. Now in the video here, I've shown my left ankle or left leg on top of my right. And so that's going to create more load. But if it is already sufficient enough load for you, you don't need to place that left leg on top. Again, everything is optional, not required. Once you're there, just close your eyes and allow yourself to stay still. Breathing in and slowly breathing out. Carefully start to dismount from the blocks when you're ready. Coming back to center, taking your arms alongside you, and a moment here in rebounds. You can stay longer in rebounds, but as you're ready, we are going to head to our second side, taking your left calf onto the block, taking your arms up overhead, and optionally placing your right leg on top of the left, creating a little bit more load. Creating this beautiful C shape or banana shape, half moon shape on the left side of your body by leaning towards your right. Once again, all these additional myofascial release with the block are optional. You can take traditional banana asana pose instead without any props. For the short video purpose, this is where I'll leave you. You can stay into that myofascial release with banana asana and then take your rebounds and then move into your shavasana. And I encourage you to stay in shavasana as long as you need, as long as you want. But when you come out of Shavasana, take your time to roll towards your left side. The left side is the inside, taking a moment for yourself. And using the top arm to gently find your way all the way back up into your day. My gratitude to every single one of you for tuning in, for practicing with me. I love the practice of yin yoga, and it brings me such joy to share this practice with you. I'll see you next time. Namaste.